All right, well, it is time for us to start. I'm sure people will be joining us over the next couple of minutes, but we don't want to take up any more time. And I know you have class to get back to, so I will start turning off cameras and muting microphones. But I wanted to thank you for joining us today and for your presentation. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Andy, and he's going to do the introduction for us. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Gabby. Hi, everyone. I'm Andy McMahon. I'm one of the co-principal investigators for the Create Center, and I'm happy to welcome our speaker today. Jennifer Langston is going to talk to us about building solar and water power devices using K'Nex Renewable Energy sets in her classroom. Before we get to that, though, I do want to remind people or let people know about the Create Energy Center's website. You can find all kinds of great resources there. You can find a list of all of our upcoming events, and you can also sign up for our newsletter if you'd like. Briefly, here are a list of some of our upcoming events. So we have a full suite of workshops happening this summer, a few some in Wisconsin, and then some in North Carolina, and then actually one that is also virtual. So hopefully you can find something that would suit your needs. We also have a list of webinars coming up this spring. All of these webinars will be recorded and posted on our website after they happen. So if you aren't able to make it during the time, you can always rewatch them at a later point on the Create Energy website. So that leads us to today. Today's presenter, Jennifer Langston, is a 7th grade science teacher in rural Arkansas who strives to create meaningful and engaging learning experiences for her students. Over a career spanning 18 years, Jennifer has taught a variety of subjects and grade levels, but has always remained focused on fostering curiosity, critical thinking, and a love of learning in her classroom. In addition to teaching, Jennifer is also involved in her school's Beta Club and serves as the faculty sponsor for her school's STEAM Club. We're excited to have Jennifer here with us today to share her insights and strategies. Jennifer, take it away.
Yes, thank you. Let me share my screen with you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start with this next one. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the, I lost just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about these Connect kits. So each box will come with it comes with 9 different models. And the way that I was able to purchase mine was actually through a STEM program with the Civil Air Patrol. So I wanted to show you that. This is a free program that any teacher can access, and they have quite a few kits that you can get. So if you scroll down, you'll be able to see right here. These are the different kits that are available that you can apply for. So they have all different ages, and I have received most of these throughout the years, and they keep updating them. And these K'Nex were some of the last ones that I was able to get. So this is the one I'll be talking about today, the Renewable Energy Kit. And depending on your class load is dependent upon how many materials that they will send you. So like I said, they sent me, I was able to get 2 boxes. They sent me 2 boxes, and it was enough to make all 9 models that you can make in the kit. So you'll have access to my slides, and it has a generic lesson plan on here. And the kits come with this, and they're color coded as to how to build them. Now, I'm not going to have my students build them because you can see there are small parts, and I just foresee that being a nightmare. So I just went ahead and built them myself, and I'm not going to use it. I will use this lesson plan that's here, but I'm going to use it more as a draw for the science fair. So I'm going to show you how to use some of these and some of the ideas that I have on how you can, different ways that you can use them. So just jump in and feel free to interrupt if you have a question or anything. So this one is going to be wind powered, and it's called the wind power water lift. And so you turn on the fan. I'm not going to do that. Well, I guess I can. You can turn on the fan, and these little cups here will fill up this cup as it spins. So as I'm going to use this as a draw to get students to want to be in the science fair, some different things that you can do with this. You can talk about different variables. You can change the angle of the blades on here. You can take off the blades, and this whole head right here can be replaced with something like this. So there's all different like blade designs that they could come up with on their own to see determine maybe how many revolutions they get per minute, which one would be better suited for different types of work that you wanted to get done. So I think that would be interesting for them. And being that this is water, it does get a little bit messy, but not as messy as this one. And usually the messier the better as far as the kids go, I've noticed. So this is a solar powered one. And these lamps right here, it looks like a heat lamp, but it's not. It's just a regular bulb with the shield on it to help focus the heat. These work real well. You can just put it on and it will start to work. So the angle that you put this, I swear it worked earlier. You know how that goes with science. But anyway, you can talk about the different, let me make sure it's hooked up. The different bulbs, you could use a 60 or a 7,500 watt bulb. I don't know why that's not working. Well, because it's time for the webinar, that's why. But at any rate, you could do that. You can change the angle of these and the directions that they turn so that kids could actually, again, calculate the revelations, and they could even get into some more of the higher math if you're using this for a physical science class, something like that. And let me show you this as well. On the second slide here, this K'Nex Educator Guide, this you can download. It doesn't come with the kits, but it's a pretty exhaustive list of lessons that you can incorporate, and it will tell you different ways that you can use the kits. And I'm having to use a hotspot, so I guess it's slow pulling up. Okay, so you can see, I'm just going to kind of scroll through really quickly. The well, it's not wanting to load because I'm on that hotspot. But anyway, you'll have access to this, and you'll be able to, it comes with the student worksheets, the teacher worksheets, and things like that. So you do have the answers there. If this is something that you're not comfortable with, you do have access to that. But you also have, you could try this with wind as well as with the solar. Okay, now this is a lot of fun. It's a little solar car. And again, it'd be the same thing. You just try different light bulbs with it. They roll pretty well. And if you'll use a light like this and just, put an extension cord with it, the kids would be able to follow it down. I haven't tried it with a Q beam, or a spotlight. That might work well also. So, they could have races with these. They could add weight to it and see how that affects it. They could try to wire up 2 solar panels to it and to change variables. And I think they would really enjoy that. And then they could graph their data. So that would be a lot of fun for them. And again, another good science fair project, just using the different strength of the light and comparing the speed the car can go using the different light sources. And then this one's it's just cute. It has a lot it can do with it also. It's solar powered. And these are all interchangeable, the little panels. So can you see? So it's called the crank man, so he's turning. And you could attach things to the end of that. Like here, for example, maybe hang a bucket or some type of cup and see, you know, which strength of light helps it lift the load quicker. I think that would be an interesting science fair project. And you could even change out the design here, maybe make this bar shorter, and that the students they'll come up with a lot of different variables that they could try. And then we have, this is a windmill. So of course it works with wind, but it's also, it can work with solar. So you see that one works so well, you have to kind of hang on to it, or wait, you know, put a weight back here on this part. And the students, they could just put their foot on it if they're going to have the fan on the ground. But it could also be solar powered. The gearbox there has that compatibility, so you could do that. So again, these are just sticks. I'm going to take one of these off, and you can have the students can design their own blades for this. Now it will come with a template, so that's all it is, just this one stick. And then the students can make their own blades and compare those, and that would be a real fun, simple science project. And another good thing about these little K'Nex, you know, they're not consumable, so that's always a plus when you're a science teacher, to get things that aren't consumable. And there's two more. This one would really need to be an outside use. Water will be poured into here and it turns the panels like that. And you know, I don't have a big tray or anything like that, so I would have to go outside with this. And I could kind of foresee them maybe with a water hose, if you had access like that, kind of shooting it in here, you know, to make it go. But you could also do this with the fan. So you could have them practice different angles of the fan, and then it would go. And if you use the wind energy, I'm sorry, I thought I turned it off. If you use the wind energy, then you'll be able to use it inside in a more controlled type of environment. Using it for the hydro, I think, would be, you know, fairly difficult in a school setting, or at least it would be with the resources I have available. And then there's one more. And this is a lot of fun as well. It's a sail car. So the students can change their sail, and you know, this is just going to take off. It could, once it starts going, it'll go really, really quickly. So they could add loads to this to, you know, to change. They could change the angle of the fan, see which way it goes faster. They can design their own sails and use all these different things as variables that they could test for a science fair. And so, oh, I'm sorry, there is one more. And again, with 2 kits, I was able to build all 9 of these. So this is called the shuttle ride, and it's solar powered. You get a panel. Now that is one thing, it didn't come with enough panels to have everything hooked up at one time. So you might need to order some extra panels. But this one, again, you could change variables with it, with the strength of the light. Maybe have it unbalanced, put a load on this one and see how it compares to that, or how the speed varies dependent upon the load that you add to it and things like that. There's also, let me show you this. This is the one that didn't work very well with the solar I was trying to show you, but you could use this with potential and kinetic energy lessons. So if you can just change the height that you drop the water. Can you see it turning? And see how, if that increases the revolutions or not. So, I mean, you know, of course, the higher you go, the faster it's going to be able to go because you have to increase the energy. But that, you know, that's going to be a lot of fun too. So these are some of the different ways that I would use these products. And again, like I said, the the instruction manual, it won't download, but it's 169 pages. So it has a lot of good ideas in that. And I even found some videos, and it shows like if you're having trouble putting it together, and different ways that younger students, they look about like third, fourth grade, how they were using them. So again, the best thing I think about them is the fact that they are non-consumable, and they can hold up to the kids. Y'all have any questions or anything?
Well, Jennifer, I've got a quick question. So in the manual that you were talking about, it sounds like you were saying that they kind of have multiple labs with materials, but also geared towards multiple or various age groups, age brackets. So it's, or is it kind of a, you know, have you found that it's geared towards kind of one age group?
It's recommended 10 and up, and I think that's going to be because of the parts are small. And, you know, smaller kids will, you know, you have that hazard of them swallowing things. And some of them, I had to get pliers on the end to crimp it on there. So I may have to do with the strength of their fingers also. But if it was a small group, like if you had a little STEM club, you know, maybe a group of 8, I think that would be perfect, you know, for like first or second graders, you know, as long as they had someone there to kind of watch them and help them out. Because these diagrams to build them, let me show you, they're very self-explanatory. But, you know, students that young might need a little help with it.
Yeah, that's very helpful. So have you had any students do any science fair projects with these yet? Or is that something that they've expressed interest in?
I'm getting to it. I have a STEM club, as you said, and they've played with them and, you know, raced them and things like that. But as I was getting all these out and getting ready for this, of course, it sparked student interest. And so I was thinking, you know, just, you know, for the lessons out, because we're coming up to the renewable energy unit. And so I was going to use them for that. But then, you know, it kind of got me thinking, I didn't have much interest for the science fair this year, but if I get these out and just give them a day or two and let them play and see what they can do, they're going to come up with their own experiments and without knowing it. And so I'm going to trick them. I'm going to trick them into it.
As long as they don't figure it out, that's a great idea, right? Uh, so I think there was just one question asked here. So did you say that the K'Nex donated them to you as a teacher, or can you, I guess, maybe explain a little bit more about the way you went about? So you went to the Civil Air website and you applied. So it wasn't like you just went there and got them sent for free. You did have to apply for those. Is that correct?
Yes, but it's a simple process, and you need to be a member of the Civil Air Patrol. It costs $10, but that is a lifetime membership. And you will have access to some aerospace lessons. They're geared more K-5, and they're really good. But the STEM kit program, I'm going to go back to that. Any age can use this. And so they're just going to ask you things like class size, how you intend to use it, you know, how it's going to enrich your curriculum. And they're not looking for essays, just 2 or 3 sentences. And then once you have received the kit, they'll want to know how many students were engaged with it, how you did actually use it. Did you incorporate any other teachers? And then you know, maybe a couple of pictures of some, you know, using them, and you don't have to put student faces or anything like that. But the application process, let me click on that and show you. It's super easy. You can do it in less than 10 minutes. It's really easy. Here's a video that shows you how to do it. And then this is just, you know, educators can use it. So it's just saying who can. So once you become, you know, right here is what you'll be, a CAP education member, then you'll be able to apply. And the, like I said, the application process is super easy.
That sounds like a great resource.
Yes, yeah.
So there's another question here. For those who might be more familiar with kind of Legos or erector sets, which again have certainly been used in classrooms for meaningful engagement for many, many years, could you maybe explain a little bit of what might be a little bit different between the K'Nex systems and just your typical other kind of building block systems? What is it that I guess maybe you like about those K'Nex?
I like that you can hook gears to them and make them move on their own. You know, I like that. And you might be able to do that with the Legos and the others. I'm not familiar with those, so I don't know. But I was very impressed that something like this, that has a lot of moving parts. And I was very impressed with the ease of this. And I know the kids could do it, 10 and up, they could do it. Just depends on how much time you want to give them. And if I was an elective class, I would let them do it on their own. But I'm core, so you know I've got to get on with the get on. So
Right.
I wasn't going to let them do that. And plus, I don't have enough for every class to build their own. So that would be another issue. You know, if table one got this far with this, they're going to have to get that far again when they come back because my next class is going to tear it all apart. So, you know, that was another thing I thought, well, you know, it's going to be better if I just build them myself and let students rotate and use the materials that, you know, I think that would benefit them more. And then they could just tweak it and make small adjustments to fit their need that they're wanting to do.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? And it does speak to the fact that, you know, if you're short on time, they're still engaging, but if you do have a longer amount of time, they are doable for those students to do. And I mean, that's nice that they're kind of effective in either way, right? So
Yes.
yeah, that's really
Yes.
exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Are there
And I
any
also
other?
like the fact that there's you know, an educator guide with it. So if you're not very, you know, variable minded, you're just starting out, because just starting out, I would not have had the ideas like I shared with y'all today of the different things that you could, you know, do. So I did like the fact that it had that lengthy educator guide with worksheets already right there, you know, with directions that were easy to follow. So that'd be helpful for someone, you know, just getting started. It's easy to incorporate.
Makes it much more of a turnkey classroom experience
Yeah,
as opposed to
yeah.
just you having to figure it out once you get the materials. That's totally true.
Very
Are
user
there
friendly.
are there any other questions about this for Jennifer this afternoon? Well, Jennifer, I know you need to get back to class. You are not done with your teaching day yet. So if there are no other questions, I think we will probably just once again say thank you for joining us and sharing your knowledge and your experiences with our community. And thanks for taking time out of your day. Thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. And again, if you would like to see this again or have any other questions, you can reach us at the Create Energy website at createenergy.edu.
All right. Thank
I'm
you.
sorry,
Have a good
.org. Thank you,
Very
Jennifer.
much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thanks, everybody.